You guys can't see this video, but I don't know if you guys saw this. In West Virginia, there was a weird UFO spotted in the sky that looked like, people are saying it's a UFO crashing to Earth because there's like flames coming out of it. Check out this video. So this video was uploaded on the 27th. UFO crashing to Earth caught on camera in West Virginia. Now, a lot of people have said it's easily explained. What you're looking at is the contrails of a jet reflected in the sunlight. What? The issue is the trails end. If you look up these sunset contrails, I don't know, this channel is Ghosts That Hunt Back or something. If you look up contrails from a jet in the sunlight, you'll see there's like, it looks like fire. But the water vapor that comes out of the planes stays there. In this video, it's really weird. It looks like there's two distinct streaks of fire coming out of some weird object in the middle. Nobody knows what it is so far. Now people are saying it's an airplane. I don't know for sure, but I got good news for everybody. Because we have this omnibus bill, right?
Yeah.
Now all of a sudden people are like, look, I'm here for aliens, man. I don't know what you're talking about, omnibus bill. Okay, hold on. 5,500 page bill gets sent to Congress. And somebody snuck in, I'm assuming they snuck it in, a provision in this ridiculous bill nobody read, a provision mandating that the Pentagon reveal their information on UFOs. At least they got that, and they could have put. There's so many things that could have gotten into this. I don't know how these government bills work, where no one reads it, but someone knows what they put in there. How does that work? Could you just be like,
what if the aliens are writing the bill?
How does this bill work? Right? Do I get to just like write a provision saying I get $1 million and just slide it in? Nobody reads it and they vote for it.
Basically.
So why doesn't anybody do that?
Whoever slid that in, thank you
Yes.
so much. I appreciate you very much, and we need more of you. Now, will a lying government tell us the truth about aliens? Well, that's a whole nother
Well, let's
issue.
see what they say over at New York Post. They say President Trump's signature Sunday on the $2.3 trillion COVID-19 relief and government funding bill started a 180-day countdown for the Pentagon and spy agencies to say what they know about UFOs. The provision received very little attention, in part because it wasn't included in the text of the 5,593-page legislation, but as a committee comment attached to the annual Intelligence Authorization Act, which was rolled into the massive bill. The Senate Intelligence Committee, chaired by Marco Rubio, said in a comment, it directs the Director of National Intelligence in consultation with the Secretary of Defense and the heads of such other agencies to submit a report within 180 days of the date of the enactment of the act to Congressional Intelligence and Armed Service Committees on unidentified aerial phenomena. The report must address observed airborne objects that have not been identified and should include a detailed analysis of unidentified phenomena data collected by A, geospatial intelligence, B, signals intelligence, C, human intelligence, and D, measurement and signals intelligence. The report must also contain detailed analysis of data of the FBI, which was derived from investigations of intrusions of unidentified aerial phenomena data over restricted United States airspace, and an assessment of whether this unidentified aerial phenomena activity may be attributed to one or more foreign adversaries. Well, if they didn't include aliens, then does the Pentagon just not get to tell us if it is? Because they put foreign adversaries. They say former Pentagon and legislative officials confirmed Tuesday to the publication the debrief that the package begins the clock on UFO disclosures. So there's a lot more. Here's a quote from, we got this guy, Chris Mellon, former Deputy Assistant Director of Defense Intelligence, told the debrief the newly enacted Intelligence Authorization Act incorporates the Senate Intelligence Committee's report language calling for an unclassified all-source report on UAP phenomenon. This was accomplished in the joint explanatory statement accompanying the bill. Assuming the executive branch honors this important request, the nation will at long last have an objective basis for assessing the validity of the issue and its national security implications. This is an extraordinary and long overdue opportunity. So I want to go back to that image of that weird UFO that looks like it's on fire and crashing down Earth. What is it? We won't know, but maybe we'll find out soon, huh?
I don't know, man. Like, do y'all believe it's like aliens in general? I don't
think it's aliens.
No.
You don't think it is?
I believe in aliens. I don't know if that is aliens
but you think
but after talking to some high-level government officials that have personally told me that aliens do exist, yes, I personally do believe.
Do you think they're here, though?
I think so, yes. Not in this room specifically.
Are you
but
sure?
again, we have to.
Ian's sitting right there.
Are we sure?
We're not sure. It's probably me.
I mean, we got Ian here.
Ian, yeah.
I mean, again, we can't definitively prove this without a shadow of a doubt. There is some circumstantial evidence that I think is somewhat convincing. But this year, we have to also understand that there have been a lot of government admissions when it comes to aliens. This is not the first time that this subject was brought up. We have learned this year that the government lied about a secret Pentagon unit that they said never existed.
That's right. That's tracking
then it did
this stuff,
existed.
right?
That's tracking a lot of this stuff. So they actually are doing something. They do have some data. Will they share it with the American public? That's another thing. But I think it's probable to believe that something else is out there. Do I have definitive proof? No, I do not.
But isn't witness testimony circumstantial evidence?
Yeah, it's circumstantial.
And we
of course.
got what's that dude in Canada?
He's the
his
former
name?
defense minister of Canada. I got to look up his name to tell you.
And
exactly.
he said, "Yep, they're aliens."
Well,
and then you got the Israeli Space Security Agency guy saying the same thing this year.
Yeah,
just
the
recently.
former head of the Israeli space program came out and said very similar things to what the former Minister of Defense for Canada said, is that there's an alien federation, that there's aliens trying to keep the peace.
The Galactic Federation, right, Tim?
I was thinking something. I was playing my PS5 the other day, right? And there's this game I saw a trailer for. I think it's called Stray. And I guess I don't know what the game is about. I guess you play a cat. But when you see it, and on the wall it says "Rip humans," and then the people are actually all robots. And I thought about like what would happen if humans created a bunch of robots to do tasks, but then humans died off. What would those robots do?
Just keep going.
And like, what if aliens created humans, but then left, and now humans are like, that's why we're like, what's our purpose? We don't know. We have all these crazy philosophical questions, and the reality is we just don't have one. You know, the aliens came, made humans left because they didn't need to use human labor anymore, and now they're chilling, watching, be like, what are they doing? They're like building cities. Why? They're just not doing anything. You know,
I have the same question with this one that I had with the one that happened in China. You know, it apparently crashed down to the earth. Why don't we go to the site and see if we can find any pieces of it? Did the whole thing burn up? Is there absolutely no evidence left? Like, why can't we find some kind of something to tell us what it might have been? Because if it was just a jet, it's up in the air.
Yeah, I think we should start telling us what was there.
Right.
Start giving us the evidence and proof of what was actually there, and then let the people decide themselves. You don't have to tell us who, what, where, and what specifically you think happened. Just show us exactly what happened. And I think that level of transparency, that level of accountability is dearly needed within our government. And I mean, this is something I personally want. I was there at the Storm Area 51 protest, eagerly waiting, live streaming.
How'd that go?
And it was like a cheap man's Burning Man.
Boo.
But I'm still shocked how we went from Storm Area 51 in 1 year to social distance, stay home to stop the curve or whatever in just a matter of a year.
I'm gonna tell you guys a crazy story. Do you guys ever hear about the O'Hare Airport UFO?
Yes, from you.
So I worked for American Eagle Airlines. It's a regional airline for American Airlines from 2004 to 2006. And then shortly after I quit, a bunch of people working at the airport saw a UFO come down from the clouds and hover in place for a few minutes and then shoot straight back up to the clouds, punching a hole in it. Everybody at the airport saw it. Like everybody working saw it. So I knew a bunch of people still worked there. I had friends who worked there, and they were like, dude, we saw it. It was crazy. I knew one dude who said, so there's a road outside of O'Hare Airport called Mannheim Road. And my friend said people in their cars were stopped, like waiting at the light. And then when it came down from the sky, people got out of their cars and were just staring at it. Like just like watching it. This is before the era of, like the iPhone and a lot of smartphones. Some people had phone cameras. And so there was a pilot who looked out his window and he took a picture of it. And the photo actually exists on Google. You can pull it up. It's difficult to find because a bunch of people made fake photos.
Yeah.
And it's a real bummer, but the real photo, you can still find it. And you can faintly see it. The crazy thing is, where are all these people that got out of their cars on Mannheim Road and just stood there staring at this UFO? And then they said it was a weather phenomenon. And I knew people who worked at the airport, they were like, dude, no way. Like it came down and hovered and you could see it. And then it started punched a hole in the cloud. What was that?
Magnetic craft.
Aluminum,
craft. Maybe. Lightweight, yeah, I would imagine. Something being propelled.
You're actually describing what the UFO is.
Yeah, like a fusion power source and being moved around by a magnet or something.
So it is aliens.
No, it's human.
Oh.
It's Tesla tech.
Could be, yeah. I mean, there's many people with many different beliefs. There's religious people who are talking about demons and other kind of energetic entities out there. There's, of course, conspiracy theorists who are saying UFOs, aliens. There's other conspiracy theories saying that this is advanced government technology that they're keeping away from the people. There's many different belief systems out there, but I think, again, we should start with the government telling us the truth and stop classifying and hiding information from the general public.
The problem
I think
is,
that's a great
but
start.
Clapper lied under oath blatantly.
Yeah,
Under oath.
and they lie about everything.
Yeah, so I have zero
So
faith.
what would you? Yeah,
Should've.
like even
Yeah.
if they did come out and say, and I think they know that, right?
They don't
Yeah.
have to say anything. Just show us what happened.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing.
Stop
though.
hiding.
Who knows what that's going to be, though? You know, the way they approach it is that they're not. I don't think they're completely oblivious to the fact that, okay, if we say that something is going to happen, they don't trust us enough to tell the truth, right? So, like, is it, even if they came out with something, said this was what it was an alien.
The fear is that if aliens revealed themselves to us, the world would tear itself apart. And I hear a lot of people but hold on, people in America might be able to accept it. People in the U.S. might be like, wow, I guess aliens
If we
were real.
can accept, like,
But-
there's, like, lizard people.
But
We already are tearing each other apart.
No. What about other cultures and other countries that are way more fundamentalist and would go insane and press the nuke button and just go nuts? America,
I don't think that would happen.
You think everyone in the world would be like, oh, aliens are real, and then start holding hands and singing under the rainbow?
No.
No,
But,
I'll tell you what would happen. The aliens would come here, and then everyone would be in competition to get access to that technology.
Of course.
Imagine if the
We
aliens...
already are. This is why
Space
China
race.
built one of the largest kind of satellites in the world, trying to read signals from outer space.
It's a weird argument because it's like if dogs could talk, people would go crazy. So maybe dogs can talk.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean,
What?
are you purporting that
What?
there's aliens? Because if there were, they wouldn't have revealed themselves. Because
If aliens reveal themselves, the world will tear itself
yeah, but
apart.
that's not.
That's one of the
that's
fears
not
of
an
aliens.
argument for there being aliens. Because if
I
dogs
don't
could
know- I
talk,
don't
the
know.
world would rip
What do you-
itself
what do you-
apart.
what does
If
that have to
people
do-
could
what do you-
fly, but they never flew.
Ian, what are you talking about?
If I could levitate, but I
What
never
does that have to do
levitate-
with anything?
Well, are you making the argument that there might be aliens because if they revealed themselves, they would drive people crazy, so
No,
they're not revealing themselves?
I'm saying there is a fear that if the government did tell us the truth and revealed to the world aliens existed, it could cause international
But if the
conflict.
government told us the dogs could talk, it might also make international.
Except they
insanity.
can't. What do you mean?
Well, and there's no aliens.
And what does dogs talking have to do with light speed travel and ion cannons and
You're
teleportation?
creating you're suggesting like
Dogs
a
talking,
near
like-
impossibility might be real.
No, it isn't.
Dude, aliens visiting Earth is like a 0.0000000%
Actually, you're totally wrong.
What?
Do you know what Fermi's
zero
paradox
evidence.
is?
Give
Do you know
me
what Fermi's
any
paradox
evidence.
is?
Any evidence that
Do you know
there
what
might be.
Fermi's paradox is? The actual likelihood that intelligent life exists in the universe is
I believe
substantially
that.
high.
I believe that.
And so there's questions as to why we're not encountering them.
Because they're
one
far
of them
away.
is called, I think it's called the Great Zoo Hypothesis, that they treat the Earth like a forest preserve and ignore it. There's a bunch of theories about this. But the mathematical probability that aliens exist and that they're substantially more advanced than us is mathematically very high. And so the question in Fermi's paradox is, why haven't we seen them yet? And there's a bunch of different hypothetical answers as to why that would be. So we don't know. So what I'm saying is, I'm not saying aliens are here. I have no idea. We have no evidence to say that, except for the fantastic reports of flying crazy vehicles at O'Hare and or whatever. But that could just be military tech, and it's substantially more likely it is. But as I was pointing out, one of the concerns, as we're talking about the government keeping secrets, is a fear that if the world found out
that's
right
what
now
they
about
say.
aliens,
That's what they say, though.
Right,
That's
right.
why it's classified.
right, because people would lose their minds.
Do
when
you think they would
realize.
lose their mind, Eric?
I think it goes back to culture, because that's a great point. I think yes, we have this sort of diverse culture in America, but when you talk to other cultures about no matter pockets of Africa and like that see the world just fundamentally different than what it is that we do, I think that they would react in a different way. I think a lot of Americans come to terms. I think it'd be a lot more curiosity than anything, because at that point it's like, if we get a confirmation of something that we assumed that we've seen it's embedded in our culture, aliens, right? We got movies and
X-Files.
Yeah, TV shows. Like it's this assumption that, we have this assumption in how they look. Hell, they might look like us. Who knows how exactly they will look? But we have all of these theories. But I think a lot of Americans assume that that's a thing. Now, would they rip each other apart is an interesting question, But I think that it would be more than anything, if there was an emotion, it would be more so a curiosity. Because it's like, if you confirmed right now, let's say if the government said, all right, we ain't got Trump on his way out, scorch earth. Say, y'all, I'm not going to be the president, bet. Bam! Here's the proof here.
Here's a video.
Here's a video. Here's a. And matter of fact,
and it's Trump giving thumbs up, standing next to a
like,
alien.
and it's like all 4K HD and everything. You can't.
They're eating McDonald's, high-fiving each other.
It's as advanced as you can possibly get. I think at that point, I know, at least speaking on I'd be like just curious, like more than anything. I was like, I wouldn't want to fight my neighbor.
Yeah.
What do you think would happen if a video came out of Trump hanging out with aliens?
Oh, man.
China would go nuts. China would declare war or something.
That's
They'd
a
go
good
crazy.
and I think that's where it goes back to the culture, because it's like at that point it's like, oh wow, they have access to this advanced sort of
Yep. They're getting hooked
being,
up.
right? Oh my God, this is the real thing. So now, who knows, man? That's a good point.
According to these two high-level government officials, the Canadian and Israeli one, the aliens are the ones that are specifically stopping nuclear Armageddon. That's according to, again, the former head of the Israeli space program, the Canadian Minister of Defense. And he's saying that the humans are not ready for them, but the aliens are here preventing a larger conflict from expanding.
I was watching some crazy thing about orangutans fishing and stuff. You know?
Okay.
we're more technologically advanced than they are, watching them do these things. Like, there could come to a certain point where we see animals fighting in such a way that we would stop them. We would be like, man, this is crazy. Imagine if we were watching, it's 1,000 years in the future, and we're flying around with teleport packs and jet packs, and then the orangutans now have nukes. Yeah, we'd probably stop them. You know what I mean? We'd be like, dude, you're going to blow everything up. Chill, what are you doing?
Y'all are too advanced.
So
the aliens would come back, and you're saying, like,
what I'm saying is, it makes sense that aliens would stop us from blowing ourselves up, because we'd be screwing everything up.
Yeah.
There's a relatively small amount of planets that sustain life and are in this position.
Assuming that they were here, which is a grand assumption. I don't think that they're here.
That has nothing to do with what I just said. I said
You're saying
it would make sense that an advanced species would stop a
but
lower.
It wouldn't make sense that there is an advanced species here.
Okay, so anyway, my point, what you're saying has nothing to do with my point, is that it makes sense for human beings to stop less advanced races from blowing themselves up with bombs. Like, if you saw a bunch of orangutans playing with dynamite, you'd probably be like, we got to stop, though. That's crazy. And you'd probably stop them by any means necessary, because you got a bunch of, chimps and monkeys playing with explosives. You would stop them.
Sometimes, but when monkeys hunt themselves in the woods, you don't.
Yeah, because they're not playing with dynamite and TNT.
You think if they were
like, you ever see that video of the chimp with
maybe,
the AK-47? You ever see that one?
The
It was,
fake
it
one.
was,
Yeah,
it
but
was
it was fake,
CGI. Yeah. Like, if you saw like an orangutan or a chimp pick up an AR or something, you'd be like, no, stop!
Yeah.
You'd take it from it. So that idea is interesting. It makes sense that a sufficiently advanced species or creature would stop a less developed from playing with crazy explosives.
I always think, why do you think, and I've asked all of you guys, why do we think that the assumption is that if they are to exist, they're more technologically advanced than us?
Well, but no, but
it's all insanity.
It's that if any alien species is advanced enough to come here,
then they would be more advanced than us.
Yeah.
Okay.
to such an extreme degree that a lot of people need to understand a couple of things. Like, can you communicate with an ant? Not really. I mean, we can play with the pheromones and make them walk in lines and stuff, but you can't exchange meaningful ideas with them. We can kind of understand what they do and why they do it after being studied. But one of the things, I was watching this crazy documentary talking about alien life and the components for life and the misconceptions people have about aliens coming here and walking around. Like, they wouldn't even survive in our atmosphere. Like, by all mathematical calculations about the variety of elements we know of, they could have to exist in some kind of weird methane atmosphere or something. But even if they did come here, it's like the level of advancement from a species, able to travel, well beyond our understanding, in all likelihood would either be substantially more advanced than we are, and that would be like you trying to explain to an ant how a highway works.
But do you think, like, on, let's say, other planets and whatnot, like, that there are lesser advanced beings that are there now? You think definitely that's the case?
I think obviously you look at the oceans of Earth. Humans are incredibly lucky when it comes to creating computers and cameras. Like, if we look at dolphins, man, they're smart, right? But they don't have thumbs, so they can't do anything. Not only that, imagine if dolphins had arms. How are they going to start a fire to actually separate elements and create wires and components? They can't do it underwater. So even dolphins, octopuses, You know, they can manipulate stuff. They got, but they can't do anything because they're underwater. I guess theoretically you can go to like a lava vent and like, hold something close to try and separate the iron out of the rock or something like that. But we get fire. We melt down, a rock, we can separate the elements, and then we can slowly from there start doing crazy things. I guess there's probably different chemical reactions that could happen underwater, but there's probably planets with water on it where you've got intelligent beings that just live underwater and can't do anything, can't build a spaceship and can't leave. There's actually is it Titan? Triton? What's the name of the moon of is it Saturn? Triton.
I think, yeah.
Is that Saturn or Jupiter? Jupiter.
Saturn's moon is Titan, isn't it?
Titan.
Yeah.
There's like one of these
Marvel
moons they think could actually have liquid water because the gravitational pull of the planet, I don't know if it's Saturn or Jupiter, is like causing it to stretch back and forth, which creates friction, which then creates liquid water. And they say there could be life because where there's liquid water, there tends to be life. But even if it was intelligent, what's it going to do? Break through the crust and then fly in outer space? It wouldn't be able to do it.
Yeah, so it's just there.
Right. So there's probably a lot of intelligent alien life that doesn't have the ability to create tools and do anything like that.
There's a lot of probabilities here, but there's one constant. The government lies.
Yeah,
Yes.
That's the moral of the story.
Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.